Good morning, everyone. How are you? Thank you so much. I am also fine. So, today we are going to discuss a very much important topic of modern Indian history, and that is subsidiary alliance. So, let us discuss about the subsidiary alliance. First of all, let us understand the meaning of subsidiary and alliance. Subsidiary means helpful association. It was an, it was a helpful association. So, when we think about or discuss about an association, that means there were at least two or more than two parties, right? So, in Indian history, in the politics of India, this term was coined by Dupleix. Dupleix was the French governor, but it was introduced or implemented in Indian politics by the Lord Wellesley in 1798. Governor General Wellesley introduced this in Indian politics in 1798, and here there is a map and various centers are located over this map, and we will discuss these centers later. What are these? Okay. So now, first of all, let us discuss about the importance of that topic or that policy. This topic is very much important in the perspective of examination, UPSC, PT and mains, right? And why it is so much important? Because this policy has changed the power dynamics of India, right? It was not just a policy. It was not just a policy, but it played a crucial role in the establishment of British Empire in India. Be careful with these words. It helped Britishers to the establish in the establishment of British Empire in India, because it had changed and or shifted the dynamics of power from the hands of Indian kingdoms to the hands of British East India Company. So just think about the policy. What was the policy? What kind of agreement was that which helped the Britishers in the establishment of their supremacy in India, their political power, their empire in India? So this was an agreement. It was an agreement between Indian states and British East India Company. Now, what type of agreement was that? So it was an agreement in which British East India Company assured Indian kingdoms that we will protect you. They assured for the protection. And why? Why? Because the British East India Company was considered as the most powerful uh, political or economic force during that time period, because they have already fought or won various wars with Bengal, with French company, with Mysore. So they were considered as the most powerful one. So they assured Indian kingdoms for their protection. And protection from whom? Protection from the other European companies, protection from their neighboring kingdoms, their neighboring states, protection from internal disturbances in the kingdoms. So they assured Indian kingdoms that we will protect you. In return of that, in return of the assurance, in return of the protection, the Indian kingdoms had to accept some terms and conditions. Some term and conditions means in this policy, some term and conditions were applied. So let's know about the terms and conditions. So actually, in the reality, the terms and conditions of the subsidiary alliance were, we can say, the loss of sovereignty of Indian kingdoms. In other words, according to the proposal of British East India Company, we can divide these term and conditions mainly in three categories. One, related with military, then the foreign policy, and a British representative in the court of Indian kingdoms or Indian state. So let us discuss about the military. So the Indian kingdoms had to dissolve or had to disband their own army. their own large and traditional force must be dissolved according to this term and condition, according to this policy. And after the dissolution of Indian force, the Britishers had to be allowed to deploy their force in Indian kingdom, their force in the Indian kingdom. So can you understand that the Britishers wanted to replace the army? They just wanted to replace the army. If you think about the policy in other way, so we can say they could train the military of Indian kingdoms, but what did they do? They just replaced the Indian forces, the traditional forces, with their forces, and they considered their forces as more disciplined and advanced, more disciplined and advanced, right? In terms of training, in terms of weapons, right? So this was the term and condition related with military. Now let us discuss about the foreign policy. According to this subsidiary alliance, the Indian kingdoms were prohibited from forming any type of alliance with any other European force or any other foreign power. They were not allowed to have a connection or a relation with any other power, any other foreign power, right? So we can say that the Indian kingdoms had lost their power in the foreign affairs. Their foreign policy was transferred in the hands of British East India Company. Now, the third one was the Britishers. Britishers made it compulsory that our representative will be there in your court, will be appointed in your court. So what do you think? Was there any privacy or any strategic privacy was remained in Indian kingdoms or Indian states? No. Actually, the Indian kingdoms who agreed on this policy, agreed on these terms and conditions, they lost their sovereignty completely. They lost their sovereignty and they had just become the puppet of British East India Company, right? So now let us discuss about the objective, because it was an agreement, it was an alliance between the two parties. One was the British East India Company, another one was the Indian Princely States. So there must be some objectives of these two. So the objective of Indian kingdom was they wanted to protect their power. They wanted to protect their rule, their kingdom. They wanted to extend the territories of their kingdom from their neighboring kingdoms, from other European forces. So their objective was to protect their power, while the British East India Company had their own objective behind this policy, or I will say their hidden strategy, their hidden objective was there. And what was the hidden objective of British East India Company? British East India Company wanted to protect India from France, wanted to protect India from Napoleon, right? They had a fear of Napoleon. So they wanted to protect India, which was the most beneficial colony of British East India Company during this time. India was the most beneficial colony of British East India Company in Asia, right? So they wanted to protect India. That was the hidden objective of British East India Company, but they never told that, right? So we can say that actually British East India Company was showing that we are protecting you, we are protecting your kingdom, we are protecting your territories. But in reality, British East India Company was establishing, please focus on my words, British East India Company was establishing their military bases in India. Yes, military bases were established in the name of subsidiary alliance, because they were deploying their military, their advanced military force in the different parts of India, in the different regions of India. Clear? So we can say that here in this map, these centers were not just the centers of this policy, these centers were the military bases of British East India Company to protect protect the colony from the war of Napoleon, from the other competitors of Europe, right? So let us see who were these. So Hyderabad was the first who signed the subsidiary alliance in 1798. Then it was the Mysore, then Tanjore, right? Then Awadh, Peshwa, it was Awadh, Peshwa, then Bhosle, Holkars, right? Gwalior, then Jaipur, Jodhpur, Machedi. These were some centers. These were some centers of subsidiary alliance, or clearly we should say that these were the military bases of British East India Company in India, and this just one policy changed, transferred the whole sovereignty of Indian kingdoms or Indian princely states to the British East India Company. They had lost their sovereignty, right? I remember the words of the Tipu Sultan. He said, the historians mentioned that Tipu Sultan did not accept the subsidiary alliance, right? He was not agreed. So he denied to accept the terms and condition. He was not ready to lose his sovereignty. So he had to fight with the British East India Company, right? But at the end, Tipu Sultan was died and Mysore signed on this subsidiary alliance. And one by one, they acquired the various regions of India and they controlled Indian kingdoms. And from here onwards, we can say that this one policy helped the British East India Company to establish their supremacy in India, the political supremacy in India. They become the emperor of the whole India, right? So I hope this topic or this concept is clear to you. If there is any doubt, so you can ask me. And one more thing I want to clear that in from this topic, the questions will arrive and questions generally asked by UPSC and PTN means both. So for prelims, you must focus about the term and who introduced or who implemented this policy and the areas and the kingdoms who accepted the or signed this policy of subsidiary alliance. So from PT perspective, these facts are important, but from mains perspective, what is important? Advantages or disadvantages, right? So advantages or disadvantages of this subsidiary alliance is very much important from mains perspective. Or UPSC can ask, or UPSC have generally asked from the long-term impact of this subsidiary alliance, right, in Indian politics. And it could be asked about the political situation of India which helped the British East India Company to introduce such a policy, because the major situation, if we see, if we focus about the 18th century India, it was the disintegrated political system. There was a disintegration of political power in India which was prevailed, right? Because there was not a single central power in India. Various small kingdoms, various regional powers were there, and they were fighting with each other. So it provided an opportunity to British East India Company to control the whole India by introducing such policy or alliance, right? So from PT and mains perspective, this is very much important topic. I hope this concept is clear to you, and if any query, you are free to ask, right?